we will see PID compensator. PID compensator. Now, in this one, the first is the PD compensator. It is also PD compensator improves dynamic response of dynamic response. And second, that is PI compensator. It improves steady state response, eliminates steady state error. It eliminates steady state error. So to improve the dynamic response, we require the PD compensators, and to improve the steady state response, we require the PI compensator. And the third is the PID compensator. PID compensator. So improves dynamic response. It improves steady state response. So it is the combinations of both of this PD and PI compensator. So suppose if you wants to improve the dynamics as well as the steady state, the complete response that we have to modify, then we require the PID compensators, and for the dynamic response improvements we require PD compensators, and for steady state error eliminations we require PI compensator. Now in this one, if we consider the PD compensator, that means we are adding S plus Z or S plus A. Let us take A. That means we are adding a 0 into the system, and in this one PI compensator we are adding 1 divided by S plus A. That means we are adding, it is in the denominator, this is in the numerator. The numerator equations always gives us the zeros, and denominator equations gives us the pole. So that means we are adding the pole into the systems, and we are adding the 0 into the systems if it is PD compensator. If it is PI compensator, that means we are adding the pole into the system. Now see here, we are using here root locus. To design the PD compensator and the PI compensator. है ना, root locus design using root locus. Now see here, in this one, if suppose this is our a single pole system is there, है ना, if suppose the system is like this one, S1 divided by S plus A. This is our system, it is equals to G of S. That means we have a pole and we don't have any 0 into the system. So here we have the pole. Let's say here we have the pole here, and if we draw the root locus of these ones, then what happens is there is only one pole, no 0 is there, and the pole is real, and it is on the negative and the real is there. So what happens is these poles moves towards the infinity. This is the one pole. if there is a one pole system is there, only single pole is there, so we have the one pole and that pole moves toward the system, and the root locus lies on the x-axis, and the root locus lies on the x-axis. Now similarly, if suppose we have a two poles, if suppose we have the two poles, now see here, we will draw the graph. G of s, it is equals to 1 over s plus a1 s plus a2, s plus a1 s plus a2. So now see here, this is minus a1, this is minus a2. Now see here, there are only two poles are there, which is negative and real. It lies on the x-axis, it lies on the x-axis. This is only for the example purpose, I am giving the explanation. Now here these two poles are there, these two poles are there. Now we have to find out the root locus of this one. Now we have to find out the root locus of this one. Now see here, to the left of this one, to the left of this one, no pole or no zeros is there, no pole or no zeros is there. So what happens here, between the origin and the minus a1, no root locus will exist. There will not be any root locus to the right above the minus a1, to the right above the minus a1. Now to the minus a2. So suppose if we see to the left of this one, there is only one pole, there is only one pole. That one pole, that means the number of the poles is 1. The number of pole is negative, number of pole is 1, which is a odd number, which is a odd number. That means between the minus a2 and minus a1, the root locus exists, the root locus exists. Now this exists, minus a2 and minus a1, between this one the root locus exists, between these 2 points, between these 2 points. Here there will not be root locus, here there will not be root locus. Now here we have the breakaway point, here we have the breakaway points. There are only two poles are there, there are only two poles are there. So my asymptotes are minus 90 degree and minus 270, minus 90 and minus 270. Now see here what happens here, these poles will starts moving in this direction, these poles starts moving in these directions, they meet at these points, then one pole will move in the upward direction and one pole move in the downward direction. So this is my root locus, so this is my root locus. Two poles are there, right to the first pole no root locus is there, left of the minus a2 there will not be any root locus, between the a1 and a2 root locus exists, because to the left of the a2 there is only one pole, one pole is there, that means one number is an odd number. So we can say that there is a root locus exists between minus a1 and minus a2. Now we will find out what is my breakaway points, and from that breakaway points the two branches will move in the upward directions and the downward directions. It is exactly at 90 and 270 degree, it is exactly at 90 and 270 degree. So this is 90 and this is 270. So one pole will move in the upward directions, second pole will move in the upward direction. So this is the direction of the poles. These poles a2 will starts moving to the right side and this a1 will starts moving to the left sides, and then they will split and will move in, one will move in the upward and one will move in the downward direction. So now see here, if there is only one pole, if there is only one pole, my root locus completely exists in the left side, completely exist in the left sides. When there are the two poles, when there are the two poles, my root locus shifted to the right side, shifted to the right side. Now see here, if suppose we have the three poles are there, if we have the three poles are there, let us say G of s, it is equals to 1 divided by s plus a1, s plus a2 and s plus a3. There are the three poles, there are the three poles are there. So okay, now here we will assume that the one pole is at the origin. Let us say we will assume that the one pole is at origin. That means P1 it is equals to 0, P2 it is equals to minus a2 and P3 it is equals to minus a3, minus A, this one A2 and A3. Now see here, this is my P1 here, then here is minus A2 and here is minus A3, let us say. Okay, now we will have some values and that we will have here. Now to the right of these poles, no pole or no zeros are there, so there will not be any root locus exist to the right of this pole, to the right of this pole, to the right of this pole, to the right of this pole minus A2, there is only one pole is there, the one number is negative, so that means between the A2 and this A1 the root locus exists, the root locus exists. And see here, this minus A2 minus A3 to the minus A3, to the right side of this one there is a minus A2 and minus A1, so there are the two poles are there, which is a even numbers, so between the A3 and A2 there will not be any root locus, there will not be any root locus. Now what happens here, this A3 will move towards the infinity. Now see here we have considered only poles are there, no zeros are there, so all the poles will terminate at the infinity, so all the poles are terminates at infinity. So now see here, these poles will terminate to the infinity, which is along the x-axis, now between the A1 and A2 also there is a root locus, so here we will find out the breakaway point, now here there are the three poles, so we have the three asymptotes, are there. The angle of the asymptotes are minus 60, then 180 and then 300 degree. This is there always, these are the fixed, this will never change. If there are the three zeros are there or three poles are there, angles are 60, 180 and 300, this is always there if the three poles are there. So now see here, this is my 60 degree, this is my 180 degree, and here we will have the 300 degree from this point, so this is 60, the x-axis will be my 180 degree, and then we will draw the 300 degree from respect to the x-axis. If we put the D here and we will measure the angle, so angle between the x-axis and this line is 60, the angle between this x-axis and this x-axis will be the 180 degree, and the angle between the x-axis and this line becomes 300 degree. So we have the three asymptotes are there, so these poles will move on these asymptotes, that is towards the infinity, on it is on the x-axis. Now for this ones we have the angle of the asymptotes. Okay, so now centroid that we have find out, and then we will have the breakaway point, and then we have the breakaway point. So my curve will be like this, so now see here, when there are only 2 points, 2 poles are there, my root locus completely exists into the left of the s-plane, or left of the y-axis. Now when if I added a one pole into the system, my system root locus is shifted towards the right side, so that means it is the effect of the pole. If we adding the pole into the system, our root locus is shifted towards the right side, and when it crosses the right side, when it goes into the right sides, our system becomes unstable. So that means when we are adding the pole into the systems, we are doing the system unstable, okay. Now see here, if we will consider this system, the 3 pole system, and we will add 1 0 into the system, now see here, my GS is equals to S plus Z divided by, this is S into S plus P1 and S plus P2, S plus P1, S plus P2, and this is my S. So now here I assume that this is my first pole, that is P1, here it is P2, okay, and here it is P3, here it is P3. Now assume that my 0 is here, my 0 is here. We will see the conditions, okay. So what happens here, these poles will terminate to this 0. There is always the poles moves towards the 0. There is only one 0, so any one pole will terminates to this one. So this will not go here, this will not go here, so this one will go to the 0, this one will go to the 0. Now to the right of this ones, no pole, no 0 is there, so no root locus will exist between this one. Between the P2 and P1 there is only one pole is there, one number is odd, so between the P1 and P2 the root locus exists, root locus exists. Now see here, to the P3, there are the two poles, the two numbers is even, so between the P2 and P3 no root locus will exist, and this is my Z pole, 0. So to the left of this 0 there are the three poles, three number is odd, so between the 0 and these poles there exists a root locus, so this pole move towards Z. That's why this pole move towards Z. Now between the P1 and P2 it exists, the root locus exists, the root locus exists again. So what happens here, here is the breakaway points, this P1 P2 will move in this direction, this will move into this directions, and then we will have like this curve, then we will have like this curve, okay. So we have this one, it is almost similar to this one, it is almost similar to this one, but it is slightly shifted towards the left side, it is slightly shifted towards the left side. It is almost identicals are there, but this one. Now see here, with the same equation, but there is a change in the position of the this one. So what happens here, this is my P1, this is my P2, this is my P3, and here I have the 0, here I have the 0. Now to the P1 no root locus exists because nothing is there. To the P2, to the right side of the P2 there is only one pole, one number is odd, so between the P1 and P2 again the root locus exists, again the root locus exists. To the right of the 0 there are two poles, two numbers are even, so between the Z and the P2 no root locus will exist, no root locus will exist between this one. But P3, to the right side of this Z, P2 and P1, that means two pole and one 0 are existing are there, so the total number of poles and zeros are 3, so that means it is an odd number, so between the P3 and Z there exists a root locus, so this pole will move towards this 0, so this pole will move towards this 0 and it will terminate at the 0, it will terminate at the 0. Now between the P1 and P2 again we will find out here the breakaway points, and my curve will move like this one, and my curve will move like this. It is again shifted towards the left side, towards the left side. Now see here what is happening here, if we are adding the poles my curve is shifting towards to the right, and if I adding the 0 my root locus is shifting towards the left side. If it is shifting towards the left side, that means we are making the system more stable, that means we are making the system more stable. This you remember, this will require when we will design the lead and the lag compensator, okay. Now see here again, here in this one, the first one is the 0 after the P3, here the 0 is after the P3, after P3, here it is before P3. Now we will move the 0 before the P2, 0 before the P2. Now see here what will happens between the P1 and P2, now the zeros is there, okay. So now my this systems is same, and see here this is P1, this is P1, let's say this is P2, let's say this is P3, and here we have the 0, that is Z, which is before the P2, which is before the P2. Now see here, to the right of the P1 nothing is there, so no root locus will exist. To the right of the 0 there is only one pole, so between the 0 and the poles there exists a root locus, there exists a root locus. So that means this P1 move towards this Z1, so this is my first root locus. Now to the right of the P2 there are 1 0 and 1 pole, so the total number of 0 and poles are 2, so that means it is a even number. So between the P2 and Z no root locus exists, no root locus exists. And between the P3 and P2, between the P3 to the right side of the P3 there is one pole, that is P2, 1 0 that is Z, and again one pole is there, so that means 2 pole and the 1 zeros are there, so total number of poles and zeros are 3. So that means between the P3 and P2 the root locus exists, the root locus exists between this P3 and this P2, this P3 and P2, but no zeros are there, so it will terminates towards the infinity. So now we will have the one breakaway point here, one breakaway point here. So what happens is this will starts moving here, this will starts moving towards here, okay, and here it will goes like this one, it will goes like this one will move in the upward and one will move in the downward direction, one will move in the upward and one will move into the downward direction. Now see here, when the Z is between the P3 and P2, my root locus is here, it is crossing this one, it is crossing this one. And when this Z is between the P1 and P2, when this Z is between the P1 and P2, it is shifted towards the left. So that means this system is more stable as compares to the previous one, as compares to the previous one, this system. So that means it is confirmed that if we are adding the pole, we are adding the 0, the system becomes more stable, the system becomes more, because it moves towards the left side. And one more conclusion is that if it is the 0 is near to the origin, if the 0 is near to the origin, it makes the systems more stable, it makes the systems more stable. But one of the major disadvantages is that it is more oscillatory, it is more oscillatory. That is the one of the major disadvantage by adding the 0, by adding the 0, we no doubt the system becomes stable, but at the same time that becomes more oscillatory. So you have to remember this one. Now here we are adding in the PD compensator, in the PD compensator we are adding the 0, and in the PI compensator we are adding the pole, we are adding the pole. And these are the some of the explanations what happens if we add the poles and the zeros into the system, what happens if we add the pole and zeros into the system. Now we will see one of the examples and we will understand how we can design the compensator, how we can design the compensator using the root locus method. Now see here, the example is design an ideal derivative compensator to yield (16% overshoot with threefold reduction in settling time. In settling time. The system is this one. This is K divided by S into S plus 4 s plus 6. Okay, this is for this system we have to design the PD compensator. We have to design the PD compensator. Now for this one we will see the solution. We will see the solution. Now see here we have to design the PD compensator. So my new systems will looks like this one. So this is my this one. Here the compensator is there, so that means it is s plus a, and then here it is my system, that is given system, that is s into s plus 4 and s plus 6. And then this is my R of s and this is of C of s. This is of C of s. So these systems must be like this one. So this is my PD compensator. This is my PD controller or the compensator. Controller, or we can call it as a compensator, anything. So this is s plus a, k divided by s into s plus 4 into s plus 6. This is my given system. To this given system we will connect one controller or the compensator, that is PD compensator, because it is asked here. This is my example. In this examples it has been asked to design the PD compensator. So this is s plus a and this is my system. Now for these systems we have to design the PD compensator. Now see here, that means we have to find out the value of the a and value of the k. Value of the k for desired overshoot, how much it is? 16%. And what is the times settling time? That is 3/4 reduction, that means it is 1/3 of my settling time. So now see here, in this one we can calculate a and k for desired percentage overshoot, it is equals to 16%, and ts it is equals to ts by 3. This is my desired settling time. It is equals to whatever my initial settling times divided by 3. Now for this one for 16% overshoot and 1/3 of my total settling time, I have to find out the value of a and k. So that means we are designing the PD controller for this. So my system will give us 16% overshoot and 1/3 of my uncompensated settling time. Whatever the settling time of this system without PD controller, and when we apply the PD controller here, my settling time will be 1/3 of this ones, and my overshoot becomes, for this compensated system, will be 16%. Now see here, for this one we can calculate desired overshoot. Now see here, we know overshoot, it is equals to mp, it is equals to e raised to minus pi into neta divided by under root of 1 minus neta square. These equations we know. Percentage overshoot, it is equals to 100 into e raised to minus pi into neta divided by under root of 1 minus neta square. Now if suppose my percentage overshoot is 0.16, 16%, 16 divided by 100, that means it is 100. We will have here e raised to minus neta into pi divided by under root of 1 minus neta square. So from these equations we can find out the value of the neta. If we solve this one, if we take the anti-log of this one, logarithmic of this ones, then we will have neta it is equals to, then we will have the neta it is equals to, this is ln 0.16 divided by under root of this is pi square plus ln 0.16 square whole square. This is complete. So this we have to find out. So neta divided by ln 0.16 divided by under root of pi square plus ln. Now see here, generalized formula for the neta in terms of, if the overshoot is given, then we can write down overshoot it is equals to e raised to minus pi neta divided by under root of 1 minus neta square 100. It is, so it is equals to neta, generalized formula, it is equals to ln percentage overshoot divided by under root of pi square plus ln percentage overshoot whole square. This is my general formula, so I have put this formula here. So I am getting neta it is equals to this, I have calculated, it is coming I think 0.504. If we calculate this one, it is coming 0.504. Calculate neta it is equals to, so neta it is equals to 0.504. This value we get first. Now this is my value. This neta it is equals to 0.504. So neta it is equals to ln 0.16 divided by pi square plus ln. This formula we know, this we have already calculated in the last year. So neta it is equals to ln 0.016 divided by this pi square plus ln 0.16 whole square, it is equals to 0.504. So this is my generalized formula I have given here. This is ln percentage overshoot divided by pi square plus ln percentage overshoot whole square. So this is, if we put the value into this one, we get neta it is equals to 0.504. Now I know this one 0.504. Now what happens is, here this is my k divided by s into s plus 4 plus s plus 6. This is my g of s. From given system. G of s it is equals to k divided by s into s plus 4 and s plus 6. So that means my P1 it is equals to 0, P2 it is equals to minus 4 and P3 it is equals to minus 6. So that means there are the three poles are there and no zero is there. So this is P1 it is equals to 0, P2 it is equals to minus 4 and P3 it is equals to minus 6. Consider this uncompensated system first. Now here we will draw the root locus. Now see here, this you have to draw it on a graph paper. Now here this is my P1, this is 0, then let's say this is my P2 and here it is my P3. So this is minus 4, this is minus 6 and this is 0 because this is origin. P1 it is equals to 0, P2 it is equals to minus 4 and P3 it is equals to minus 6. Now see here, there is again simple. Towards the right of the P1 nothing is there, so no root locus is exist. To the right of the P2 there is only one pole which is a odd number, so between the P1 and P2 the root locus exists. And to the right of this P3 there are the two poles which is the even numbers, so no root locus will exist between this one. So here we will have the root locus, and this pole will move towards the infinity, and these poles will move towards the infinity. Now we have to draw the root locus for this one. We have to draw the root locus for this one. Now again we have the three asymptotes are there. Asymptotes, it is equals to 3. So theta 1 it is equals to 60, theta 2 it is equals to 180, and theta 3 it is equals to 300. Okay, and we have to draw here the centroid. Centroid is -4 -6 10 divided by 3. So that means it is centroid it is equals to this is the real part of the poles, that is 0 -4 -6 divided by sum of the pole plus sum of zeros, it is equals to -10 divided by 3. So it is 3.33, 3 point, let's say 34 -3.34. So this is 4. So let's say here is the 3. So here we have the -3.34. Here we have, so there is a one asymptote here which is 60. This is 180, and here we have 300, and we have 300. So these are my three asymptotes are there. Three asymptotes are there. Now we have to find out the breakaway point. Breakaway point. To find out the breakaway point, okay, so I think it comes near about near about 3 something it is coming here. So my curve will move like this one, like this one. So this is my curve, this is my curve. Now see here, neta that we have already calculated, neta it is equals to 0.504. so neta it is equals to 0.504, 0.504. Now find out the cos phi. Cos phi it is equals to find out the phi. Phi it is equals to cos inverse neta. Cos inverse, so neta it is equals to 0.504. We will find out the phi, that is the phase angle phi. It is equals to cos phi inverse neta. Now for this one phi it is equals to cos inverse 0.504. it comes phi it is equals to 59.56 degree something. So now I have drawn this line at an angle of phi, that is 59.56. it crosses the root locus at this point. We will find out the x value and the y value of this point, y value and s value of these points. So it is coming s it is equals to minus 1.8 1 meter. It is coming 1.1205 plus J 3.2.064 2.064 2.064. Here it is 1.0 to 1.205 and here it is J 2.064. So this is my neta S value. S value it is equals to minus 1.205. Now we know equation of the S, it is equals to minus neta omega n plus minus j omega n under root of 1 minus neta square. 1 minus neta square. Now we will compare this one. So we get neta omega n, it is equals to 1.205. Now see here, these equations we have derived in the last year in the feedback control system. Okay, so this is the equation, that is minus neta omega n plus minus j omega n 1 minus neta square. So neta omega n, it is equals to 1.205. So omega n, it is equals to 1.205 divided by 0.504. It is equals to, omega comes, it is equals to 2.390. 2.390. So 1.250 divided by neta. Neta it is equals to 0.504. So it is coming 2.3904. Settling time of uncompensated system is Ts, it is equals to 4 divided by neta omega n. This is the equation for the settling time. This is the equation for the settling time. It is equals to 4 divided by 0.504 into omega n, it is equals to 2.390, or we can write it is equals to 4 divided by neta omega n. Neta omega n, it is equals to 1.205. It is equals to Ts, it is equals to 3.319. 3.319 it is coming for compensated system. For compensated system, Ts desired, D for desired value, D for desired value. Now see here, it is given in the statement itself. It is given in the statement itself with 3-4 reductions in the settling time. That means there is a 3 times reduction. 3 times reduction. So it is equals to Ts by 3. Ts by 3. This is uncompensated. So we have to reduce the settling time. If it is compensated, then it is 1/3 of your uncompensated system. Uncompensated time is 3.319 divided by 3. It is equals to 1.106. 1.106 seconds. 6 seconds. So this is my settling time. Settling time. TSD, it is reduced to 1.106 from 3.319 to 1.106 in the compensated system. In the compensated system. Now we know the equation for the settling time. Settling time equation is 4 divided by neta omega n. Now see here, we are extending this one. We are not changing our neta. We are changing only omega n. We are changing only omega n. We are keeping overshoot. Overshoot, it is 0.016. 0.16. So this is my overshoot line. This is my neta that I have calculated from the overshoot. So this is my neta line. This is my neta line. Here in this line my neta value is 0.504. Now TSD, now we can calculate TSD. TSD, it is equals to 4 divided by neta omega n. So omega n, it is equals to 4 divided by TSD into neta. It is equals to 4 divided by 1 point. TSD is 1.106. So 1.106 into 0.504. Neta we are not changing, we are changing omega n. So we will get omega n, it is equals to, it is coming after calculation 3.17, 7.17, 7.17, 7.17. Now we will calculate our desired pole location, SD. Desired pole location, that is omega n, neta omega n plus minus omega n under root of 1 minus neta square. 1 minus neta square. Now here SD, that is my desired pole location, becomes equals to neta is minus 0.504 into this is 7.17 plus omega n is 7.17, here is the j, and under root of 1 minus 0.504 whole square. So this SD, it is coming with new omega n, it is coming, it is equals to 3.613 minus 3.613 plus j 6.193, it is coming like this. So my this point is shifted, where minus 3.163 and j 6.193, where my neta will remain same, but my omega n is changed, Now here we are shifting this point, so this becomes 3.613. so here it is 3.3, so it is somewhere here. Here, somewhere here. Here mine j 6 point, how much it is? 6.193, 6.193, and this becomes this point, it is minus 3.613, this point. Now we know this one, now this is P2, this is P3, and this is P1. These are my poles. Now this is my desired poles, where if this poles is on the root locus, then my system overshoots will be equals to 16%, and my settling time will be equals to this one, new settling time, that is 1.106, which is one third. That means I have to shift these poles from this position to this position. Now see here is the pole, and this is my root locus. Now this poles is not on my root locus, now I have to shift this my root locus this side, to this side. So now to shifting this root locus, I am adding 1 0 into the system. Okay, now if I add 0 into the system, definitely it will pull my root locus to the right side. Now see here, this pole is to the left side of this, this pole is left of this side. If I add the 0, definitely it will pulls my to the left side, my root locus to the left side. So that means it is pulling my this root locus from this position to this position, these positions to this position. Here is the desired position of the pole, where my overshoots are 16% and my settling time is 1.106. So I have to shift this locus to this side. this locus to this set. So how we can shift? By adding the 0. By adding the 0, it will pull my root locus to the left side. It will pull my root locus to the left side. Now this we have to do. This we have to do. So how we can do this one? So how we can do this one? Now for this one we have to draw the one line to the first pole. This is the line to the first pole. It is already there. It is already there to the first pole. First pole is at origin, and this line we have already drawn here. Now from this position to the P2, and from here to P3, connect P3 to this point, connect P2 to this point, and P1 to this point. So we have the 3 poles, and all the 3 poles you have to connect to the desired pole location. Now this angle will be your theta 1. This angle, this P2, this angle will be theta 2, and this angle will be theta 3. Now we have to find out theta 1, theta 2, and theta 3. Theta 1, theta 2, and theta 3. Now see here, theta 1, phi 1 we have already calculated. Phi 1 is how much? 59.56. This phi. So this is 180 minus 59.56. So whatever it is, something 120 or something is coming. So that theta 1 we can calculate, or we can calculate the theta 1 like this one. Theta 1, calculate, connect open loop poles to desired pole location. Okay, calculate theta 1, theta 2, and theta 3. Theta 1 it is equals to 180 minus tan inverse in bracket. Now see here, this is my desired location. The from this point P1 to this one, okay. So see here, this line and this one, from see here, from this line here, this one here, up to this one and this one, it forms a right angle triangle. Now to find out this angle phi 1, it is equals to 180 minus, from this point to this point, what is the distance? Is 3.63 minus 3.63, and what is this distance? It is 6.193. So tan inverse 6.193 divided by, this is minus 3.613. This is minus 3.613. If we solve this one, then theta 1 it is coming 120.26 degree. 120.26 degree it is coming. This is the value. Now we will calculate theta 2. Now see here, this pole is to the right side of the this desired location. Desired location is here, and this pole is to the right side of this one. So here we have taken, it is 180 minus tan inverse. Now here this pole, second pole, is to the left of the desired location. So that here we will take only tan inverse. Now see here, this point, here this one and this one, this point and this point, it forms a right angle triangle. Again it forms a right angle triangle. Now P2 to this location, these locations to here and here to here, it forms a one right angle triangle. Here the value is 4, here the value is 3.613, and here the value is 6.193. so here we can write it is equals to tan inverse in bracket 6.193 divided by 4 minus 4, this is 4 and this is minus is 3.613 with desired location. All this we are calculating with the desired location. So this phi 2, it is equals to this phi 2 I have calculated, and it is coming theta 2, it is coming 86.42. Now we will calculate theta 3. Now see here, this again is the left side of this one. So here we have tan inverse. Desired location is here, that is 3.63, and here the pole value is minus 6. Now see here, now from this point to this point, here to this and here to this, again it forms a one right angle triangle. Now this distance is 6 minus 3.63, and this distance is 6.193. This distance is 6.193. so this is 6.193 divided by, this is 6 and minus 3.613. So this theta 3, it is coming equals to 68.92. So this is the value. Now see here, we know the sum of theta zeros minus sum of theta poles, it is equals to 2n plus 1 multiplied by 180. This is the equation. The theta zeros minus theta poles, it is equals to 2n plus 1 into 180. Now zeros का तो कोई था ही नहीं uncompensated systems के लिए, uncompensated में है ही नहीं, so we will not take this one. So here this becomes minus, this is the minus na, so all the angles theta 1, theta 2 and theta 3 will be minus 120.26 minus 86.42. okay, then this becomes what we say, is 68.92 है ना. Here theta z minus all these ones, it is equals to 2n is 1, because only we are calculating for the one value. So here is the, we are adding only 1 0, so here is the 2 into 1 plus 1 multiplied by 180. So this is theta z, it is equals to, this is 2 plus 1, 2 into 1 that is 2 plus 1 that is 3 into 180 that is 540 plus 120.26 plus 86.42 plus 68.92. So this is my theta z value. So theta z, it is equals to this, if we add this together, then it is coming 815.6. 815.6. Now see here, this value is greater than 360. So now if we add this theta z, this we can subtract 360 once and then find out it is coming 95.6. It is coming 815.6. It is nothing but equals to 95.6. 95.6. So this is my value. This is my value 95.6. Now theta z we know that is 95.6. Now see here in this one. In this one, now we know that we have to add the 0 at an angle of 95.6 from this point. From this point. The angle of this 0 with the x-axis must be equals to 95.6. 95.6. So we have to add the 0 on the x-axis, and on the x-axis if we connect that 0 to this ones, it will make the angles to the x-axis of 95.6. 95.6. But where it has to be added? So now we will do, see here, this distance we know, the SD, this locations is fixed one, so this distance is how much? 6.193, but we don't know the locations on the x-axis. Now see here, we can write down the equation, tan theta z, it is equals to the distance of y divided by distance on the x-axis. The distance on the x-axis, tan theta, it is equals to this distance divided by the distance on the x-axis, that is unknown. So we will take this one, x, it is equals to we take tan theta z, that is 95.6. so this is tan 95.6, it is equals to y by x. So x, it is equals to y divided by tan of 95.6, it is equals to y, it is equals to 6 point, how much the distance there, y, it is equals to 6.193 divided by tan of 95.6. so it is coming, the x value, it is coming minus 0.607, minus 0.607, minus 0.607. This is my value, x value. Now see here, this is my x value, so that means I have to add this one, x value, how much it is? 0.607. So I have to add here. Now see here, this is my SD point, this is my Y point. Okay, so now this is my Y, now I have to add the value, distance कितना होना चाहिए? From these points, my distance must be equals to minus 6.07. see here, all these values, theta 1, theta 2, theta 3 and theta z also, and this x value also we have calculated from our desired position. Now the 0 here, the 0 is real, that means it is lying on the x-axis, and the positions that we are calculating with respect to our desired pole location. The desired locations on the x-axis is minus 3.613. From this point, my distance must be equals to 0.607. So my a value, it is equals to my A value, it is equals to, what is this distance? 3.613. 3.613 minus 0.607. 607. So A is coming equals to 3.005. 3.005. So that means my A value is from here, 3.005, somewhere at the 3. Here this is 3 na? So here somewhere. Here will be my 0. This is my A point. This is my desired location, 3.613, and distance between these two one is 0.607. The distance is negative, that means it is in the left side. If the distance is positive, then that means it will be in the right side. But the distance is negative. That is minus 6.607. So it will be here. Now see here. Here for this one, we have calculated the A value. Now see here, we know 0 at A, it is equals to minus 3.005. This is my 0 location. My pole P1, it is equals to 0, P2, it is equals to minus 4, and P3, it is equals to minus 6. This it is given already. 0, 4 and 6. P it is equals to 0, P2 it is equals to minus 4, and P3 it is equals to minus 6. Now see here, if we draw this one, here this is my pole. P1, which is equals to 0. So here it is P2, okay, and here it is P3. Now my 0 is at minus 3.00. So this is minus 4, this is minus 6, this is 0. So somewhere here this is my 0. So now see here, to the right side of this one, no root locus will exist. To the right side of this one, there is only one pole. So between the 0 and between the pole, the root locus exists. So what happens here? These poles will move towards this 0. Okay. To the right side of this one, here is the 1 0, here is the 1 pole. So that means total number of zeros and poles are 2, which is even number. So between these 0 and these poles, no root locus will exist. And to the right side of this ones, there is 1 pole, 1 0, and again 1 pole. That means 2 pole and 1 zeros is there. So total numbers are there 3. 3 is a odd number. So between the P3 and P2, the root locus will exist. Now see here, between P3 and P4, my root locus will exist. Now see here, my desired pole location. Where is my desired pole location? That we have calculated. Desired pole location is minus 3.613 and 6.193. At this one, my neta is 0.504 and my overshoot is 16% and my settling time is 1.10 something, which is 1/3 of the uncompensated system. Now here we will mark the point. What is that point? 3.613. This is 3 here somewhere. Let us say this is J 6.193 and here this one. This is my SD. So this is my pole location. Now see here, between this and these two, the root locus exists. Now here these poles will move towards in this direction, this will move in this direction, they will meet at this point. This is my breakaway point. Okay, and from these ones one will move in this direction and one will move in this direction, like this. It is coming here, it is coming on the line. So that means I have shifted this root locus here by adding this 0, by adding this 0. Just if I added a 1 0, my root locus from this position, it is shifted to this one, it is shifted to this one, and this points is coming on my root locus. If it is coming on root locus, that means at these points, at that desired pole locations, my root locus or my systems is having neta, it is equals to 0.5. My overshoots is at this point is 0.16 or the 16%, and my settling time is 1.105 something. It is coming here. So this way we can shift. Now we have calculated the A value, but here, see there in the equation, or in the system, this A value we have calculated, but the K is not calculated still. The K is unknown. Now we have to calculate the value of the K. See here, we have already mentioned here, calculate A and K for the desired percentage overshoot and the desired settling time, that is 1/3 of the uncompensated system and the uncompensated system. Now for this one, we know if we solve this one, my characteristics equations for compensated system 1 plus gs into hs, it is equals to 0. For compensated system, characteristics equation is 1 plus gs into hs, it is equals to 0. This is, we know, gs divided by 1 plus gs into hs, it is equals to transfer function. So 1 plus gs into hs, it is equals to 0. That is our characteristics equation, that you have to remember from the first year, from the second year, fourth sem. Now 1 plus gs into hs value is 1, because feedback is unity feedback, because feedback is given here, it is 1. So it is a unity feedback system, so 1 plus gs into hs, it is equals to 1 plus this becomes s into s plus 4 s plus 6 plus k into s plus a, it is equals to 0. Solve these ones, we get this equation. Solve these equations, we get this one. Or otherwise, if we solve this one, then this equation is s plus a and this are in cascaded, so we can directly multiply k into s plus a, divided by s into s plus 4 into s plus 6, and my feedback is 1. So the transfer function of compensated system is C of s divided by R of s, it is equals to G of s divided by 1 plus gs into hs. It is equals to C of s. If we solve this one, gs value is the k multiplied by s plus a. Okay, divided by s into s plus 4, s plus 6. So it is coming equals to k into s plus a divided by 1 plus s into s plus 4, s plus 6 plus k into s plus a. So this is coming. So this is my denominator equation, and denominator equation is nothing but my character, है ना. So this is my denominator equation, and denominator equations is always characteristics equation. So we can write down 1 plus s into s plus 4 s plus 6 plus k multiplied by s plus a, it is equals to 0. It is equals to 0. Now here in these equations we can write down s into s plus 4 s plus 6 plus k into s plus a, it is equals to minus 1. So the mod of this one, complete mod of s into s plus 4 s plus 6 plus k into s plus a mod, it is equals to 1. It is equals to 1. So we can write down it is equals to this mod घेतलं. So this becomes k into s plus a, it is equals to 1 minus s into s plus 4 s plus 6 divide, है ना. So k, it is equals to 1 minus s into s plus 4 s plus 6 divided by s plus a. So put s, it is equals to sd, that is desired pole location. What is desired pole location? Desired pole location that we have already calculated, it is minus 3.613 at this point. This is my desired pole location. This desired pole location is minus 3.613 plus j 6.193 minus 3.613 plus j 6.193 in the equation. If we put this value in the equation, then k is coming equals to 47.45. 47.45 something. I have calculated it. It is coming 47.45. Correct. 47.45. Put this value of SD in the equation. There is some few steps are there, but I have omitted that one, and I am giving directly you k, it is equals to 47.45. So my system will becomes like this one. This will plus minus, then this becomes s plus, how much it is, a ka value, how much it is, a is 3.005. okay, then it is 47.45 divided by s into s plus 4 s plus 6 and sorry, here this one, this is R of s and this is C of s. So this way we have, this is my PD compensator and this is my system. This is equals to k and this is equals to a. So this is system that we have, and this way we can design the PD compensator. So this is s plus a, this is k divided by something, k is 47.5, it is coming. So put this value here and draw the figure. So it is coming like this one. So this way we can design the PD compensator. Thank you.